Hello and welcome to the Three Geeks podcast review of Power Rangers.
Saban's Power Rangers.
Saban's Power Rangers.
Yeah, because I don't know who else's Power Rangers it might be, but they've made it very clear it's Saban's Power Rangers.
Let's set this up for a second. Max and I were part of the Cedar Park Power Rangers Club when we were kids. I had all of the action figures growing up. I had the VHS tapes. I had the fucking Christmas special. I had Power Rangers. I had it. I think we were maybe a year older than we probably should have been getting into Power Rangers.
I think we're many years older than we should be getting into Power Rangers.
But we both enjoyed the show as kids, and I eventually faded out and stopped watching. I didn't watch any of Turbo.
Yeah, I mean, like it was god awful. I mean, like even you knew it was bad back when it was popular, but I don't know, it was still just cool because it was different than like really anything I'd seen. But yeah, like it was still pretty hokey.
Yeah,
and you caught on to that very quickly, and it was very much the same thing every episode. So it's like you knew what it was, but you still bought in. But yeah, like after that first cast, I kind of just like that's it for me.
And then you fast forward to a few years, about 4 years ago, when Max and I and our buddy Amit went to our first Comic-Con as a group, and we got to meet Jason David Frank.
JDF.
And since then, it's kind of re-sparked my interest in this franchise. I've got a bunch of the toys again, and it's brought us to where we're at right now, which is this podcast. So, I mean, obviously, Power Rangers runs deep from our childhood. And Max, you walked into this movie. What were your expectations before we tell people what you thought of it? Like, okay, what did you expect to see?
If they would have fucking done, like, if they would have gotten a camera from 1991 and, all the sound equipment from 1991 and done, like, and got all the old costumes they could and, like, recreated the costumes back down to the first cast and used only special effects they would have used in the show, I would have been happy with that. That would have cost like $15. They spent like $1 million on this.
They spent millions.
Yeah, so it was great. I'm fully expecting the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Walking into it because it's Power Rangers. It has every right to be the worst movie you've ever seen in your entire life, but it wasn't that. And I mean, I don't know, like it doesn't hold up very well as a movie. Like it is chock full of lame. But it's Power Rangers. So if you like Power Rangers, you're going to dig this movie. If you never liked Power Rangers or like you never knew what Power Rangers was, you probably won't dig this movie. But I mean, like it's got some good stuff in it and they tried real hard. I think that they did a very good job with the budget that they had, spending the money where they really needed it, and then they did clever things to when they didn't have the money to to actually go all out. I thought that they pulled it together really well. I really, really liked a lot of the people in this movie. And that's, again, this is way better than it has any right to be. Like, isn't that how you felt when you watched it? You're just like, I can't believe that this is the Power Rangers movie. Because you're just like, way to go, guys. Like, I mean...
What I'm going to say is if you're not a Power Rangers fan and one of your Power Ranger fan buddies drags you to see this, it's not going to be the worst thing that ever happened to you. No. I think that as a non-fan, you will find some fun in this movie because there is. Yeah. And one of the things that really surprised me about this movie is the character development in this movie. There is some really good character development, especially with Billy, played by RJ. I'll look up the name in a second. And the girl who played Trini, I thought was really well done. The guy who played Jason did a really good job. Like all of this on paper could have come across cheesy or stereotypical of the teen fare, but they got such good performers in these roles that some of this dialogue is made a little bit better because of who's delivering the lines. Like I think this cast worked really well together and their chemistry was great. And I can't believe I'm telling you that there is character development in a Power Rangers movie, but there was. Like it's really well done. And kudos to the guy who plays Billy. That guy is going to go further than I think the Power Rangers franchise.
I mean, I don't know. Like again, you're like, this is Power Rangers, so it's like I don't know if he's shining in Power Rangers. If that means like he's good, or if that means he's just like shining in Power Rangers. You know what I'm saying?
Again, don't misinterpret what I'm saying. Like it's not going to win any Oscars,
No.
but for being, forget Power Rangers for a second, but being a teen movie, you know, on the same level as like a Maze Runner or a Twilight or Hunger Games, this movie has acting that elevates it past that, which is what you can expect. All you really want from a movie like this, you know what I mean? So the fact that they just were able to rise a little bit above and not get the stereotypical characters and have some actors actually bring some emotion to these characters was surprising, because you're not getting freaking Taylor Lautner or, you know, the guy who played Edward or Kristen Stewart. You're getting, you know, actual actors playing these roles, and that's where I think Power Rangers shines above the rest.
Kristen Stewart acted in a few things recently.
Yeah, she's gotten better. She's been,
you know,
Oscar. But I'm just saying, like, for their first time out, for most of these actors, good job. And then,
dude, I'm telling you, I wanted to, I should have. I wanted to stand up and applaud at the end. I was like, well fucking done. That was just way better than I thought it was. Like, yeah, the script, but you know, it's cheesy already, so it's Power Rangers, so you don't even care. And these kids, yeah, like they bring something to it. And you know, like, yeah, the action and the effects, for the most part, you know, but they work around it and they make a solid looking film. And then, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, Elizabeth Banks as Rita Repulsa fucking delivers. A Rita Repulsa you have never seen in your entire, never even thought that you would ever see this Rita Repulsa. She is in it. She bought it. And I think the movie is just way better off for it. She is way over the top. And it is great.
You know, that's funny that you say that, because she's turned up to like a 45 on a 10 dial.
Oh God, like she flipped that dial around like 8 times.
But what's crazy about this movie is this movie does have grounded moments where, you know, it's a little bit more on the serious side, but then they go, like Max said, into the cheesiness, and it doesn't feel like you're watching a different movie. They did such a good job of blending the cheese with the over the top of Rita, with the grounded Breakfast Club kind of character moments, and I think they delivered what summer movies are all about. It's something fun. You can take your family and go to the theater. You can enjoy it for 2 hours and leave, and you know, you just shovel popcorn and enjoy the spectacle, because this thing is fun. What do you think of the cameos at the end? Spoilers.
Okay. Yeah, spoilers. I really could have done without it.
You know, I thought it was funny. So I was watching JDF's Facebook on the red carpet and stuff. And afterwards, he comes on and he talks about how he got kicked out of the movie for trying to videotape himself on the screen, videotaping the action. And he's like, you know, they kicked me out, FBI, everybody escorted me out of the theater. And he's like, I was telling the director about it later. And he's like, so you're recording the scene where you're recording? He's like, no, that's funny. So, you know, they took JDF from real life and they put it up there because that's what JDF does. He likes to film everything about his life, and they brought that in.
Oh, he is
so
like social media.
I'm just glad. One of the things I was worried about was, you know, him being a mentor or a karate instructor or the principal or, you know, a much bigger role or something more important. I'm glad that it was nothing important. They put
I could have dug him being like a vice principal.
I was hoping for Ernie at the juice bar, to completely honest.
Yeah, that would have been cool too.
I guess it could still be.
Yeah, like no one's ever gone to the juice bar yet.
That's right.
Did they destroy the juice bar?
No, they destroyed a lot of stuff.
They fucked that little town up. That's the truth.
I like the change of Goldar too.
Yeah, that worked. You know, because it's like all Power Rangers is dumb. You know, like whatever you change is fine because who cares? You know, like this is Power Rangers.
In my opinion, this movie had the best product placement ever. And Rita is sitting inside the Krispy Kreme eating a
Krispy Kreme donut. And it's like, I don't know, like how much money do you think Krispy Kreme paid? Because like who Krispy Kreme? It wasn't a Starbucks, you know, like it was like no, it's a Krispy Kreme donuts. This is the only brand thing we have in this town is one Krispy Kreme donuts. No, it was great though. I was in for the ride. When they bust out in the old school Power Rangers theme, like it's not too long. It was kind of shoehorned in, but I was like, yes.
It fit the moment. It fit the moment. It was kind of like the transition of that groundedness I was telling you about at the beginning of the film into a lot more cheese and action-packed television series.
Yeah.
And I thought the transition was done really well. And having that song, like, okay, this is what the rest of the movie is going to be. Let's go for it. This is awesome. But there is some jump scares in this movie. I mean, for kids, the beginning with Rita when she's haunting the Rangers a little bit is terrifying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Elizabeth Banks, it could have been in a horror movie. Like, it was great. She was like this crazy, little, disgusting hag, like witch, and oh man, it is like just eating people, and like they just full on show her like eating people, and yeah, it's great. It's freaking great. You're like, oh okay, that is what like the most evil chick in the universe is like, and then that makes sense. And I liked the new kind of backstory that they've given. The whole deal, Zordon was a Red Ranger, and Rita was the Green Ranger.
And we got to see Bryan Cranston in a red Power Ranger suit. That was pretty awesome.
I mean, like I really liked at the end when she's like, Zordon's gonna judge me. She's like, like I am worthy. She's like, I deserve it. So it's like I think that she was a Green Ranger, and he tried to take it away from her, because he saw how crazy she was, and then look how it turned out. But
one of the other things that didn't sit well in the pictures for this movie was Alpha 5. I thought it looked stupid, and in the context of the film, it works. Bill Hader as another robot sold me. I liked the interaction.
Oh, that was Bill Hader?
That was Bill Hader.
Oh, God. I thought the eyes were a little too much. I was like, if we would have just done one, I was hoping for one eye, and then they wouldn't touch it ever again. But no, they go for it.
And the way they changed up Zordon, I liked him being able to float along the wall. I thought that looked pretty cool.
Yeah, wall face was pretty cool. I thought the moment where, all right, so super spoilers. I thought the moment where like Zordon sacrifices himself to resurrect Billy, they needed to show that in a different way, but. It still pays off. You're still like, oh man, like everyone is for the team now. Like sacrifices have been made, but it was like it was just a really fun ride. I mean, I like everything about it.
It was so much fun. Like this movie, on a financial standpoint, probably never should have been made. Like the first Power Rangers movie only made like $30 million, and then the second one only made $1.5 million. Like. They did not do very well, like financially, at the box office when they were at the height of their Power Ranger extravaganza. So the fact that this movie did well and it was good, or at least fun, is anything.
Look, you can my favorite thing is I had some people walking in the store today. I was at work, and they're like, I don't know if I'm gonna go see that Power Rangers movie. I was like, did you like Power Rangers back in the day? They're like, yeah, I used to watch it. I was like, go watch that movie. You are going to love it. And it was just so much. I was so glad to be able to just say like, yeah, it's cheesy or it's it's stupid or whatever, but it's like it's just Power Rangers, and it delivers on you feel like you're watching Power Rangers, but it's so polished and it's really well done. Like I mean, you wish for a little more, like Rangers in the suit fucking doing something, but like again, like this is way more movie than Power Rangers deserves, and like they elevated it on this.
And I can't wait for the sequel.
Oh, I really hope that these guys get enough money, because again, and this is just another thing, like if you let them keep it small scale, you make them work around their, you have to be creative to make it work. And I think they were very cleverly creative in this one to make the whole movie look, like a polished thing, and then you get this good product, from creative people, and you get way more interest than you thought you'd have, and hopefully, I don't know how it's doing right now, tracking the box office.
It did 40 million, which is 10 million more than expected.
All right, so like there you go. And I want to go see the movie again. Jason wants to go see the movie again. He's trying to he's already got 30,000 kids. He's trying to ground up like 4 more kids so that he could take them to go see the movie again.
I went to see the movie with my daughter Selena and my son Tony, and I haven't gotten to take my daughter Kylie, and I want to experience this movie with her because it's like taking her to a part of my childhood while she's a child, and it's just something I want to share with her, and it's my excuse to see it again. So
and it's actually not half bad. I was like, oh my god, I cannot
it's not a bad
it.
movie. Like, people are not going to believe you until they see it.
Like, and that's the thing too. It's like, just go watch it. Like, I mean, out of 10, I'd probably give this one like 5.5. You know, or something, maybe even a 6. I'll go as high as 6. But
yeah, get it to fresh. That 6 would be fresh on Rotten
well,
Tomatoes.
I know we're fuck Rotten Tomatoes. Fucking, it's because like as a whole, you know, but if you were a Star Wars, if you were a Power Rangers fan, you're going to dig this movie. It's so much fun. And I mean, if you're not a Power Rangers fan, if you're a hater, you can kind of like suspend your disbelief a little bit, and you can have fun too, and still hate on it because it is still that shitty Power Rangers thing. You know, like it does everything you want it to do.
Yeah, one more thing before we wrap this up. We had an awesome post-credit scene. They don't show you anything, but they go back to the detention hall, and then the guy running detention is like Tommy Oliver, and it pans to a desk with a green jacket, and then Billy blows up a locker, which is pretty funny. But the guy in the back row of the theater, I was seeing this on when they said Tommy Oliver, he's like, fuck yeah! He starts like chanting, getting excited. I was getting excited too. It's like this, you know, you think of it as a kid's movie, but then you forget that there are adults who grew up on this. And it was just, it's a weird thing to experience because Power Rangers, unlike Star Wars and all this other stuff, just it had its audience, but you know, it wasn't like the universal blockbuster. It's just like almost part of being like a part of like an elite club, I guess, almost. But it's a lot of fun. I give this movie a 7 out of 10 on the fact that it was fun and better than it ever deserved to be.
Yeah.
For the Blue Rangers performance alone, I really like what they did with that character.
Oh yeah, and you know, no one was like, oh my god, you know, like nothing was like that. They all have like, they give them a lot of depth. You know, the Black Ranger, he's got, you know, his ailing mother and yada yada. He's like, you know, struggling with being a good son and the person that he wants to be, yada yada. So there's all that. Red Ranger, you know, he's got to be a leader, and he's not like just a dick, and or he's not, or some like pansy who never thinks that he's good enough to lead or whatever like that. He doesn't have that leadership problem that they give them a lot of times. Like, oh, I don't know if I'm the right guy. Like, he's like, I am the right guy, and here we go. Like, even when he makes the wrong decision, he's like, I fucked up, but and we'll move on from here. And I like that a lot. I really thought he got a lot more. He was more interesting as a Red Ranger than a lot of the Red Rangers.
I did like the one jab they took at the original show when they first fall and their coins are making them glow, and the Black Ranger's like, I'm black, and he's like, no, you're not. So that was pretty funny. Yeah. But anyway, check us out tonight. We do our live show every Sunday at 8 p.m. We have a special guest, Chris, who runs the Bangor Comic and Toy Con. That'll be fun. Definitely come check us out. Go to audibletrial.com/3geeks for all of your audiobook needs. They got lots of cool stuff. If you like Bruce Campbell, you can check out his autobiography, read to you by him. So definitely check that out. For all of us at 3 Geeks, that's Max. I'm Jason. Hit like, comment, let us know what you thought, and have a great day.
Just like your droids.